Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne of Itze. Thanks for the likes, by the way. This time it's the Latvian semifinal. It's Krishna versus Norberts96. Both are masters, although Norberts is, I think, has a peak rating of slightly over 700 only and is a year removed from that even. But the 503 as of now is definitely not indicative of his level of play if he is able to play his A game. Definitely high 600s for sure. Same goes for Krishna, by the way, with a peak rating over 800. So the 600 here might be misleading. In the tournament so far, both won their group. Then their quarterfinals, of course, as well. No problems so far. And this year, quite likely, will be the first test for both. Due to Alexei winning the Champions League and overall strong performances by the Latvian team in last years, they have three Champions League spots to give. One a main stage spot, of course, which for sure goes to the winner of the final, where Napalm Eye waits on today's winner. The second place finisher and the third place finisher will get a Q1 spot. So let's take a look at recent results here. Recent is just the last max 10. Looks like Krishna owns Norberts, although their last match was about a year ago, might even have been in a qualifier to the Champions League as well. I'm not sure actually. Playing times, thinking times, roughly 30 minutes, so a rather leisurely pace, which suits me very well actually. So let's check if they are online and ready to go here. Doesn't look like Norberts is online. How about Krishna? He's there and quite likely already waiting. Yeah, that's the case. So let's hop back to Norbert's page. Yeah. Going back in history doesn't work sometimes. Let's take a peek at his stats for the moment. So 600 barrier fell sometime in 2023, and well, that's all fine, indicating regular play and on a more or less consistent level, peaking over here in mid to late 2024. This year looks more like games once in a blue moon over the last 300 days. And here we go. He's there, and the game is about to start. It's Krishna, so it's not a given that he takes the city. I mean, he's the king of multiple cities, so why not use the cap over here? Just kidding, of course. I don't like the start, actually. There are more options to attack this than over here. But you don't give back this option to immediately harass your city with the road. So might just be my personal preference. This feels like an annoying start for yellow. No shields, no useful tiles. Maybe a big city in the making. And then you have to attack a road like this where the counter attack might be incoming momentarily. Yeah. Latvian ain't my strong suit, so I guess this means something like good luck, and this to you as well or so. Just for kicks, let me translate it. Yes, spot on. Yeah, and here's the confirmation by an original Latvian. Thanks, Nep and I. So Norberts fought long and hard whether to attack the road again, and in the end just did the normal move, continuing the city, annoying this square here. So it will be rather difficult for Krishna to create a profitable city up top. And even that one here, he won't use there. He will create another city, of course. Everything else, well, maybe that one here, but is a bit tricky with this square. So in case Norbert would have used the starting tile over here, then any Dorito would block you. Hey, why are these two playing so fast? Didn't expect that. Juicy Monastery square created. And Krishna is the sole owner of this big city for now. Let's see if he, or rather when he'll do something about this square. Monastery goes to Norberts, and even if you might get obstructed, blocked, killed over here because two starting tiles are already gone, I think you should still take this one. If you don't, this here happens. Yeah, it's I think definitely okay to go over there and definitely meeple the monastery and not take the road, which I've seen so many times, because this monastery here is quite the problem for yellow's meeples over there. But with a 7-point monastery spot available, even if it adds another city to the field which is currently in your opponent's possession, I'd still use that one. So maybe you should ask the resident Latvian monastery expert about it. Here's the expected attack of Norberts against Krishna's city. Also quite nice to close this 3-point road while creating another attacking option. And Krishna's problem now is he's down to 1 meeple. So justifying this one ain't easy. I guess he won't pull the trigger on that. Instead, might just do something. maybe rather like this, to then be able to close the monastery building with another monastery. But it's Krishna. He might use that one as well, or just create a city somewhere safe. That's always an option if you get a simple cap. Yeah, but Norberts goes hunting here. Downside would be a config like this. And, well, to top it, a splitter for yellow. But we'll see about that. So this here looks like a field defense. It has its merits for sure. Takes away field attacks like this, but actually, wouldn't you rather try to place something up here? Maybe like this, or even like this, and then trying to limit this square to the then a non-existent horse. But the problem is this gives back the road, even if it's a short one. But adding this over here, I mean, I don't like it. It's the last horse, so Krishna could have easily gone over here, actually. Although blue doesn't need crossroads there, so yeah, no, not an easy tile. So my ideas don't seem to be any better than Krishna's. So we'll see how this will turn out. Both down to their last meeple. Norberts ties the city up top. Monastery is still vulnerable. Yes, it's a shielded Dorito, but limiting the monastery to a 50-50 because 2 left-hand daggers are gone might still be the move in this case. The problem is your city, or rather the quadruple piece added by Norberts, because again, there would be this config and one splitter is already out. Krishna goes for it nonetheless. And Norbert, of course, defends, keeping the 50-50 alive. Krishna with the second meeple in hand now. Quite likely will try to block this one here, or do some shenanigans against a blues extender city meeple. Let's see if Norbert prefers 3 points over giving both a meeple back. If this monastery wouldn't extend the field that nicely, I think he would consider this option here. But in this case, taking the 3 points is definitely okay. I think even better. Yeah, there are still 3 cows, so this one is not really sufficient to block, and meepling this would be strategically very tricky, as now Krishna has a very nice advantage with 2 versus 1 meeples in hand, and blue quite unlikely to get this one back. They should get this one here, but Krishna might even consider something like that. But I think he's the better player. He's in the lead, so adding this much volatility this rather early in the mid game might be just too much. So adding this cap somehow on his field might be the way to go. Could consider this here, even if it were blocked from the top, then at least you had a designated spot for the dagger, which blue would like for the monastery. But in the end, he takes the safe approach with the city. Downside is the losing mini battle if he doesn't connect. And there are only 2 cows left. Horses gone. Quadruple city gone. Here we go. Blue blocks this square. Still 1 starting tile left, as Krishna just got the 3rd one. And the problem is, if he connects, then again there's an attacking option available, and if he would have connected, this city would have been at 15 points or something. So I'm still not a fan of this move. Even though it was just in time, but that's hindsight, and hindsight ain't the best advisor in Carcassonne. So he just adds this cow at the bottom on his city / possible ruin, hoping to run interference on blue's city there, and it works quite nicely. Instead of trying to connect or hoping for the remaining diagonal splitter, blue takes his chance on possibly being obstructed and then drawing a cap to close the city rather soonish, and adds this Dorito over there as indirect continuation of the ruin. Also, this blocks the field extension to the left, of course. But with the 2nd monastery already out, that was only a minor benefit. Yeah, you have to do what you have to do, even if it's quite annoying, especially if your opponent gets the silver bullet, which you would have hoped for. Yeah, Krishna doesn't go for city completion at the bottom with this juicy piece, of course. just adds 2 caps to his field. Also takes away some pieces like the remaining starting tile and rows, which Norberts could have used to pre-close this city to later take it with the dagger. There are still 2 right-handed daggers though, so if these 2 were gone, he might opt to use a dagger here. It's reasonably close, so for now he doesn't need to risk a lot, but these caps here would turn the close game into Krishna's favor quite fast. So which move is it, this one or this one? The problem with this straight is there's still one rotorito out there and a lot of curves or curvy tiles, so an immediate defense would have been possible, but now that's dead, which is very good news for Krishna. Takes the 2 points on top of killing Blue City. And has an 8-point lead, plus still the option to close one of the caps if he gets another one, and therefore Norberts has to take one of them. The only question is which one, and in this case it actually doesn't really matter that much, because this here might be the better option, because blocks from the right side are a bit easier to evade. And then like this, because in this case, the daggers, for example, could be used like that, which ain't the case this way. But if he doesn't get city caps, he can't do anything about it. So will Krishna take the city? Will he do a move like this? I wouldn't put it past him. Just blocking this, then extending a ruin and hoping to win the flip for the remaining left-handed dagger could work. But if the dagger hits and blue gets their meeple back, you could be well fucked. So in the end, the saner choice would be to take these 7 points here and then go for the block. And there's only one Dorito left, no diagonal splitter, still 1 cow. So again, could consider this, but my money is on this one. Without a meeple. This time he goes for the connection or block. Call it what you like. It accomplishes actually both of these goals. So at plus 12, Norberts needs the dagger, and he needs the dagger ASAP. if it doesn't hit within a few moves here, there's no way to counter these 12 points, especially not if Krishna were to get the Dorito, which right now he won't use over here, actually. There's just no incentive to close that city, even though it would be a net 6-point move, 3 points net for the city, plus adding this city to Krishna's field. Yeah. Tough choice for Norberts. Do you add yellow to your city just to be able to use city caps to get a meeple back, even though, again, it's in this case net minus 6-point move if the city is closed? I guess no. I guess it's waiting for the dagger. But he still has almost 2 minutes to decide. Yeah. He just limits the field on the right side. Krishna will add this cap somewhere, so it could be used on the field. Yeah, that's a nice choice and quite likely the only direct option. Still 2 vanillas out there. Again, no dagger for Norberts. Just dumps pieces left and right now. Yeah, creates more options to score if he gets meeple back. And therefore this here actually isn't just a dump. 2 city caps to take once he gets this meeple, and here's the meeple. Krishna might just neutralize one of these caps, unless there is the need to defend your field, which might very well be the case. One option to attack would be here by getting a vanilla. The problem is that there's still straight out there to block this option. If a vanilla would hit and Krishna would use it here, this would create another option. And maybe just blocking this here might actually be a better move. Yes, there still be 2 caps out there, but this here would leave the 1 cap, quite likely for blue to take, and would create a 6-point field, which quite likely you don't want. In the end, he just decides to kill the square, so blue can't add points to their side of the ruin with the remaining road Dorito. Here is the straight, which would be perfect for blue to attack the field. And it would even be guaranteed that he would connect. There's no way to block this, and there are 3 pieces to connect over there. And there's no way Krishna could block this. There's no permutation. Which could block this actually. Or is there? No, I think there's none. He doesn't find it. Shame. 13-point difference. And actually, the 13 points wouldn't be covered by the field, so it wouldn't have worked. Because any city added to the field would score points for both, and in the end, it would be a +1 Krishna if he doesn't get the Dorito. Yeah. And now Norberts, of course, could score 2 cities up top, but that won't help. Or did I miss anything? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the math was sound. So in the end, this dagger just was a tad too late. All Norberts needed was 1 move more to score something. And then, of course, seeing this here, if he hasn't, well, then there wasn't any other way to outscore the scoreboard spread. Yeah. And he concedes. And in the end, Krishna might even get the cake at the bottom. Just to rub it in. Let's see if Norberts prefers the 4 points up top or the block over here, which would be more precise, but who cares? In the end, a loss is a loss. He prefers the block. Yeah, interesting game, and a shame that blue wasn't able to score a tiny bit more. I would have loved this field attack, but it wasn't to be. So let's see if Norberts will be able to fight back in the second game. Overall, projects like this with 3 meeples for both sides invested, taking 4th one each down with it, yeah, most often lead to scores like this here. and 2 games where an early lead just might be enough. Yeah, roughly half a minute. Yeah, sure. Half an hour of play gone, so more or less as expected. Yeah, why not? This here definitely wasn't the prime option, giving a 6-point loop or possible 6-point loop back. Would have considered this one, figuring that yellow already has a road. And why not create a road project for yourself? But that's sound as well, of course. Interesting. Doesn't edit here because then there would be an option to attack the city. But why then use the Dorito over here? I mean, yes, there's this 3-pointer you give back or leave in the open, but this here to me looks like someone's asking for trouble more than they actually needed to. Okay, no-brainer incoming for once. Here we go. Here's the trouble you asked for. Expect Krishna to try to kill this and then, or by extension, kill this one as well. Yeah, normal move. Why not? Trying to play against this square was iffy due to the road ending in a block. Else, this here, of course, would have been the way stronger move. Again, no easy option for blue. Yellow gets a monastery to stack it, doesn't shy away from this iffy square. Still 2 right-handed daggers available, so any block would need more tiles for the kill, and would also would have to start on one of yellow's pieces, or by adding 2 yellow's features. But the option to kill this one is gone anyway. Here with 3 left-handed daggers left and 2 right-handed daggers left, it should be pause this move. Norberts doesn't go for the immediate counter, prefers to get a 3rd meeple back. The 3 vanilla's gone. actually wouldn't have worked due to the road. This here might have been an option, but just to harass yellow's road and also take away the monastery square from yellow, but they still have the one up top. Yeah, here's the expected blocking attempt by yellow. And the question for Norberts now is, what do you do about it? Do you sacrifice this square, this meeple, for this rather shoddy city? Or would you rather try to harass yellow's features and hope for the best over here? Risk would be, of course, losing both meeples with any big city tile or Dorito. This is a nice option. This is really nice. So reduces the blocking tiles, takes the Doritos out of the equation, only triple city or quadruple city tiles fitting here to kill this square and these two meeples. Will Krishna just continue like this? Referring to score one big feature, for now not caring about this one, as again there are still 3 daggers left, so even if Norberts hit this one here, that's still be options. He goes for this, which I actually don't like. It's always annoying, but there are a lot of Doritos left, so in the end, it's quite likely he would be able to close a city like this. Yellow tries to harass blue city on the left side, trying to block this square to the last remaining starting tile, and blue defends from the top, hoping to draw one of the road Doritos. There is one, but it's in yellow's hands. Quadruple city is only a minor problem. He goes for this. Okay. Yeah, there's still a splitter, but would you use a splitter there, giving back this attacking option to your opponent? I don't know. But at least this way it's safe from aggression from blue on the left side. Blue closes their city. And now it's these 3 pieces over here. So one starting tile, which blue, of course, would use immediately over there. Same goes for the 3 road Doritos. And yellow hopes to draw one of the cows to kill the square, these 2 meeples. So basically it's a roughly 66% shot for blue to draw one of the needed 4 pieces before yellow gets one of the 2 horses. Quite good chances for blue actually. So they were able to more or less save these, or at least give them a pretty good chance to save these two meeples. Meanwhile, the score is still almost tied, and blue goes for the harassment of this city. What's his goal, though? Killing the square? Just delaying this one, preventing completion, trying to force a ruin on Krishna. For now, he just obstructs the other city up top. And might continue or liberate the road. But in this case, these 3 points look quite lovely. Even if you have to give back this road end, so a rose by yellow would be quite annoying. But he opts to take the second meeple, limits this square to the remaining monastery. And allowed Krishna to close this city. Yeah, and this move was correct. One option I didn't see was that the second monastery is already gone, so any curvy would have killed this square, and with it 2 versus 1 meeples, so this was a must. And the orientation, of course, is the right one, as you want to keep the option to extend to the right side with the road piece. Beautiful block. Beautiful block. Krishna's vanilla up top was the 5th one, and there's only 1 monastery left. So one of yellow's monasteries is dead for sure. Hey, Kolpnik. Yeah, this was move 80 or something. And here we go. The first road Dorito hits for blue, gives him a meeple back. Also now he's only down -8 on the virtual scoreboard. So these aren't critical anymore, or maybe they still are, because yellow needs them to have any shot at completing this monster on the right side. So let's add them again. The starting tile is still highly critical, as this would give blue a 12-point option. And therefore, if yellow would have more meeples, something like this, if it weren't for this iffy monastery square, definitely would be on the menu. But as is, there's no chance for them to do stuff like that. Meanwhile, they successfully prevent blue completing a small city there, which also tries to block a yellow city. Here we go, there's the monastery, this square is dead. Yellow thinks about meepling. And actually, why not? there are still enough roads out there to complete it, and you would want to limit the field on top anyway. This is a bit iffy. Any curve would limit the city to the remaining starting tile, figuring you'd rather use road Doritos on the right side. Yeah, but he thinks about it long and hard and still has 2 minutes. Yeah, I like it. I really like it. I think that's a risk worth taking. There aren't many city pieces for blue, which they would use over there because they might need them at the bottom. Krishna gets a horse, continues with the city build. It's still not dead, but it should be. If it weren't for your city here, yeah, why not? But I think this puts too much pressure or could put too much pressure on your city. And this here is definitely still a threat. There are so many options to still close this one. The most obvious, of course, something like this, but with only one big city piece out there, it's more likely to close it. Well, let's switch these around. Maybe like this. And then finish it off with a city cap. This here is the most crucial square to act upon because this gives back attacking and blocking options. But Krishna is in the lead, so he just scores and scores and scores whatever points he can get his hands on. So 4 points here, 4 points there. And then he even gets the Dorito to threaten the city completion after all. Well, I guess over here, because this one would leave only one cap, so and give back the kill option. So this here would at least give you the 50-50, and if you hit that one, it's game over. And at +9, I don't see a reason why he shouldn't take that. The city here is not a big threat. Connecting here just for +1 compared to this move doesn't really work. Doesn't really help you that much. So I'd say go for it. Or maybe he thinks, nah, he won't. Attacking the field? Nah. That's too early with still a lot of big point scoring tiles out there. Yeah, and as Norberts, there's a 5-pointer available. there's still a crossroad out there. There are still curves out there. Why not take the 5 points here? So 2 for the road, 3 for adding a city to your field. I mean, nah. This one just doesn't cut it if you're down minus 12. Game over. Game over. So Krishna will advance to the finals versus Napalm Eye, which of course will be quite the interesting match as well. Oh, well, no, I think here would have been something to consider. But nah, it doesn't even work because yellow would immediately do what they just did with any piece. So it doesn't work. Just forget about it. This here is the best scoring option for blue, hoping to draw the remaining starting tile for 3 plus 8 for the road, plus 6 for the field. So a whopping 17 points. Wow. But still just not enough at minus 31. I actually don't want to go into I told you so territory, but I told you so is would have really I think it would have prevented closing this city with, let's say, 1995% success rate. Yes, there was still the threat of this year being closed, but maybe that's just something you'd have to risk. Yeah, in the end, just to rub even more salt in the wound, Krishna gets the starting tile. I mean, the plus 40 ain't indicative of this game. It was way closer. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, that's good luck in the final, and quite likely that's thanks. So I've learned some Latvian today. Just please don't ask me to pronounce this. Okay, folks, congratulations to Krishna. Yeah, at least in my book, the stronger player won and played I think more or less is a game. Yeah, sure. Tad lucky to pull this one here off, but in the end, he quite likely could have or would have won without closing the city anyway. Although, if Norberts would have gotten the horse and the starting tile, it would have been way closer. So again, Krishna moves on to face Napalm. I'm going off fighting for the main stage ticket. Loser gets a Q1 ticket. Norberts will play a shoeless. If this is serious, then quite likely on the weekend. Although it's a Q1 ticket for the third place finisher, so they could take their time. The cutoff would be the 16th of November. Yeah, that's it for the Latvians today. Let's check what else is happening. Oh, sorry. I actually didn't want to spoil the Croatian, what was it, third place match, and I forgot about it just now. Tomorrow there will be the UK National Championship semi-final between Lazy Boar and Lord Terrycloth. Quite likely Alexei will cover this one. And then on the weekend, the semi-finals and medal games of Chile, as well as the second semi-final of UK and the third place game of a German's online championship, where a Q1 ticket is up for grabs as well. It's a best of 5, so expect a longer match than usual. I will cover this one for sure on Sunday afternoon, my time, 13 UTC. So thanks folks for tuning in. If you have any feedback, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, meeple, whatever. I see you out there. Bye-bye.